Recording, start streaming.
Okay, let's call it, let's close this video call and open the audio call.
All right, so you're gonna send me that link or whatever?
Well, you started this call. You need to end it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna put my earbuds on so I can hear better. You there? Yeah. Yeah. I heard. Yeah. I don't know. I hit the wrong button. I guess. Yeah, so in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna add in the other guy to the call. And, well, we're kind of in a bind, but we're not gonna, probably not gonna have any shot at beating the Wicked team. So the goal is really just to get me and the other guy across the finish line so that we have three riders to score. Just the two of us. The other two other guys are, one had a mechanical, the other has a work, and so one guy rode on the earlier slot. It's up to us. Well, we rode pretty hard yesterday. We were over 21 miles an hour for that one. So, we're probably going to be looking at about the same 20 or 21 again today. About 35. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the guy you want to look for, his name is A. Johnson, and he's got a D after his name, and a Welsh flag. He'll be wearing OTR kit. Yeah. Well, Blackmore is going to be in it. If you, if you get into a group with Blackmore, you can always battle it out with him. Yeah, this is his kind of course. No climbing. You know, the only the only time I can drop Blackmore is if it's like a 7 or 8 kilometer climb at 10%. Yeah, it has to be long and steep, and then I can drop. But that's, yeah. We've got the better of them a few times, but I don't think it's going to happen today.
You have to talk into your phone.
Okay, see how much time we got left. Okay. At least everything's hooked up this time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but
1 2 1 2. This is going to be interesting. Okay, welcome everybody to the Tour du Monde 2023 Stage 10. And this is race 4, the last of the 4 today. We'll pull up the previous results as we get underway. Now you can see from the profile it's a very flat stage. I need to turn this microphone down, I think. There we go. So it's a very technical problems again. It's a very flat stage, and I think we're likely to see quite a large group staying together as we did on the previous flat stage. It'll be interesting because this is the last, shall we say, easy ride before we go into the rest day tomorrow. If a flat race can be termed easy. And I think team tactics may come into play tonight, but I don't see it being anything other than a bunch ride to the line, to be honest. I hope I'm wrong, but let's see how it plays out. Now, as I say, I'm going to pull up the RGTDB results and we'll have a look and see what happened earlier. I can see that we're streaming live to Facebook, but there is a delay between what I'm seeing on my screen and what Facebook is showing. That delay is around about 25 seconds. So I'll try and allow for that in my commentary. So those watching the Facebook feed, just realise that there's a, probably from my commentary, there's a 25-second delay. Anyway, good luck everybody. Let's have a good race, and yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm just about to pull up the results from earlier lunchtime and this morning. So let's have a look and see what happened. Come on, why won't you... RGTDB is not loading for me. Okay, well, I won't look at the results then. Technical issues tonight again, folks. I can't seem to get into the results page. I'll try again. And we're off anyway. Here we go. The race is underway. Let's get to the front. There we go. Paul Pudell from OTR. And you can see most of the riders. Let's just tab down a bit for you so that you can see what's happening. But I really expect a huge group to form, as you can see here. And it all stay together for quite a while, because there's no... There's a couple of bumps, but you can't even call them hills. They're so short. So there's nothing to take the riders out of the big ring tonight. And so I just can't see this being anything other. Here we go. We've got the results up now on RGT. Yeah, I can't see this being anything other than a group ride to the finish. Unless we see some team tactics where we get riders splitting off the front and trying to break things up. But that's what it would need. And at this point in the race, I'm not sure whether that will happen or not. We've got Mark Rowbottom on the front there, along with John Beams and Paul Pudell again. All the usual suspects should be here. We'll have a check on the on the riders as we go along. But I'm just at the moment going to pull up the lunchtime results for you and let you know what happened there and give you the time. And then we'll take the time splits as we go along the road. So at the lunchtime running of the event, Alex Plager from Rasio took the stage with 57:28.5. Let me get back to the... Oh, what's happened to Mark Rowbottom here? It looks like... Oh, poor lad, it looks like he's been dropped. I'll tell you what, we'll actually tab back to him if we can get through this group. Let's see if we can get back, because this group is staying together, so there's nothing to watch here. Come on. Takes an age to actually get through the pack when doing this and try and get back and find the riders. As you can see, I'm doing here. But let's see if we can actually pick up as Mark got going again. Yes, he's got going again. There he is, 102. So Mark effectively has lost a good few meters there. Whether he can get back on again, we'll have to wait and see. So I'll get back to the front and then we'll have a look and see what's happening in the field. But Mark is back underway and will now be working hard to try and make up this time that is lost. In fact, if we skip forward to him, there he is, look, highlighted now. He's just joining this small group, but my guess is he will go straight through. In fact, we'll watch this because this is going to be more interesting than watching what's happening at the front of the race, that's for sure. Yeah, Mark's just, you can see he's just powering his way through these back markers and will try and get back into the field. He's got that nice group ahead of him to aim for, so he'll aim for that group in front and try and get back to the field. But in the meantime, we're going to get back to the front and just make sure that nothing... Well, it's kicking off because you've got 3 pedalers on the front, but they're not going to really go anywhere unless they make a determined effort to take it in turns and try and break up this group. So I'm going to leave you... let's see if we can find a decent overhead view that will give you a look at the field. There we go. We'll zoom in a bit. And that should help us. So, getting back to the results this lunchtime. Yeah, Alex and Nick and that Irimia Daniel again was in 3rd place. So, I can't see any of the other main contenders in the lunchtime running. So let's have a look and see what happened this morning. If we go back to this morning and let's have a look. Can we find? Yeah, there we go. There's this morning's run. And what time we got? And this morning's run was a slower affair at 58 minutes and 20. So 57 for the lunchtime, 58 for this morning's time slot. So, but we did have Peter Brook-Wavel going in the morning slot, and he did a 58.22. So it'll be interesting to see what this group here on the road do. We'll take a halfway time split, maybe even a quarter time split, and see what happened. Okay, let's have a look at the midnight running of the event. If we can find that, there we go. Well, 0100 running of the event, of course. And that was a 105, so that was a very slow affair. With Ryan Hamilton taking the win from Rob Miller in 2nd, and Dermot Doyle, the first female home, in 3rd. No, that's not female, that's F, sorry, my apologies. Okay, so we've... yeah. Andy Widders has sent me wrong times for the top 3 from the day. If you're listening to me, Andy, I've got the times, mate. I've just gone to the results page. So we're looking at a 57-minute time for... In fact, we'll get back to that now for the lunchtime running of the event. And once again, it was 57.28, Alex Plager. very closely followed by Nick Greenhalgh and Irimia Danielle, all in fact second and third with the same time. Okay, as I say, I mean, I can actually go away. I could even go away and have a cup of coffee, and I don't think anything would be happening on the front of this race. I don't particularly enjoy these kind of courses because at this stage in the tour, I don't really see anybody risking their GC place. So I think this is just going to play out as a bunch ride to the finish tonight. And I'd love it if somebody would prove me wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. It will still be, don't get me wrong, I mean, the race the other day, the other flat race, I was saying the same thing. It will be a bunchy affair right to the line, and it was, but it was very exciting when they finally did get there. It was quite an exciting finish, and I've no reason to believe that this won't be. Now, can we see a new winner tonight, or are we going to see one of the regulars? I mean, Linden's in this group, again tucked in near to the front. He's taken 2 stages very similar to this one tonight already. So, you know, we already know he likes to go that little bit early in the sprint, but then he gets a gap and nobody can catch him. So I think they'll have their eye on him tonight. I don't think he'll get the same amount of slack that he's been given in the past. He's earned it. When I say he's been given slack, he's definitely earned it. I mean, perfect tactics from him. But somehow I don't think it will work tonight. I just can't see them allowing him to do it at this stage in the tour. But we'll see. I mean, we've got Christophe Contant on the front here, pulling them along. Lejon from Pedalers as well, his teammate. John Beams is up here at the front. In fact, we got 5 pedalers within the top 10 here. We've also, as you can see, got a huge OTR turnout again, and that's a given. OTR have been the biggest team in every single stage of the tour this year. Now, I don't know whether this is Pedalers' game plan to sort of like try and get riders off the front, take it in turns. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, I didn't have a word with Doug Hart prior to this event, but on the previous one, Doug said that they were really going to kick things off and shake things up a bit, and sure enough, that's exactly what they did. It'll be interesting to see whether they try a similar kind of thing tonight. They've certainly got strength in depth, and let's be honest, pedalers can afford to take a bit of a gamble, purely and simply because Henrik Mard is so far ahead now on GC. He'd have to have a dropout or a mechanical or something silly for him to lose this tour. It's his to lose now. Now, obviously, the other podium places are still up for grabs, and this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is where they're going to be decided, because we've got 2 key stages at the weekend. We've got a rest day tomorrow, remember, so all the riders will get a chance to rest whatever they do tonight. So they really can afford to push the envelope, I feel, tonight, can pedalers. But whether they're just going to stay status quo or not. And that's no disrespect to any of the riders. This is just, I'm just thinking aloud here. And I've no clue what is going to happen. Anyway, as I say, you can clearly see that this group are going to stay together for some time. So what we're going to do, folks, is I'm going to work my way back through them again, and we're going to have a look and see what's happening behind. I'll keep an eye on the white dot on the bottom, the big white blob on the bottom of the screen that indicates the front of the race. And if we see that change, and if we see anybody going off the front, as we watched John Beams doing 7.5 watt kilos and getting a 10-meter gap immediately. I don't think this is going to stick. I fully see the group behind pulling him back, but we'll stay with it just for a few minutes more and see what happens. But I don't see this sticking. John's going to get pulled back here. But it is nice to see that, and well done, John and team, the pedallers, for doing this, because this is going to add a little bit of excitement to the race, which would otherwise would have been totally boring. I mean, he's already got a 20-meter gap now, as John. So this is going to lead to exciting riding if they're prepared to do this so early on in the race. My assumption is that when John gets pulled back, which he will, probably another pedalers will have a go. Here we go. He's being pulled back now. Careless Vespers here. Kid, who is a new rider I haven't mentioned or seen before. So Kid, I mean, he might not be new to the tour, but I certainly haven't called out his name before. I would remember. It's nice to see Bellio up near the front from OTR. We haven't seen much of him this tour at the front like this, so this is nice. Obviously we've got all the regulars like Neugebauer, Doug Hart, Simon Kerpel, Arhen's there. Solly's there. If you don't get called out, folks, it's just I'm trying to read the screen as it's happening now. Doug Hart. So yes, this is a definite tactic by pedalers tonight. They're taking turns to jump off the front. Great riding from pedalers. Doug Hart this time is off the front, and let's have a look at the chasing pack behind him. Now I think the idea of this is I don't think either John or Doug expected to get away, but what they're doing here is they're pulling the pace along, and they're adding quite a bit of excitement to the race. So good on them. And my guess is that when Doug does get pulled back in, another one will take his place. Somebody else will jump off the front. So the pace is going to be quite high, and I'm pretty confident that the 57 minutes and 28 seconds set earlier will get beat tonight, and probably by a good deal as well. Now that looks like, is that Samut? Samut is a very aggressive rider. He's certainly been worthy of the most aggressive rider on a couple of occasions. So, again, wanting to push the pace along, you can see all the top 10 riders are in the red. They're all pushing a very high pace here. This is great riding and making for what is going to be Paul Pudow. Look, he's doing work on the front. And I think this is going to make for an exciting ride tonight. I don't see them staying away. I think they will get pulled back, but then I fully expect somebody else to take up the running off the front, and I think this is likely to happen. There we go. Look, Solly joining them. So 3 riders with a small gap, but here comes Neugebauer and his teammates. Yeah, this is good riding, and this is nice to see. The riders really going hammer and tongs at it. I didn't expect this, I'll be honest. I just thought that maybe they'd settle for, a nice easy ride into the finish. But no, none of it. They're really going hammer and tongs here, are the riders. So this is exciting to watch. But again, I'm going to keep a close eye on it. But this is going to happen, folks. People are going to jump off the front. They're going to get pulled back, and then somebody else is going to jump off the front. So what I'm going to do is I just want to see how far behind some of the riders that were, we had Mark Rowbottom. I want to find out where he is. Murtaugh, you can see, is just off the back here. So the pace is really, really making riders suffer, because if they were going at a slower pace, then you'd see a huge group off the front. But at the moment, it's 30 riders, which is brilliant. And it will get, if this pace continues, this jumping off the front, that's going to get slimmed down even more, which is really good for a bunch sprint at the end. Mike Weston from Southern District Wheelers has been dropped. He's 200 metres behind that small group you saw in front. Mr. Bellio here, the OTR rider I mentioned earlier, who was up with the leaders, he's been dropped, as has Ploiter. Now they might well work together, teammates. Another OTR rider, Mr. Morgan, and Cavilius from Rasio together. Another OTR rider, Lake. And then who have we got in this group? We've got Mike Wareham, Bird, Hepburn. Yeah. And Phillips just being distanced off the back. And this is fantastic. Now don't forget, when we saw Mark getting dropped, he was 102nd. So he's already made up 50 places. He's putting in 7.5 watt kilos, as you can see, so he's not hanging about. This fellow, amazing ride here, is really trying to get back on terms. Well done, Mark. So he's in 52nd spot at the moment. It'll be interesting to see just how far up the field he can climb. He's got 118 riders are online. So we've got quite a large number of riders on the course. But he's really putting in some big watts here. But so are the two riders in front. Phillips here, and Rob Miller has just joined with this group, as you can see, and he's easing his way through it. Now Rob rode earlier. He rode the morning race, so this is nice to see him riding again in the evening, and riding so well, I have to say. But let's have a look and see what's happening at the front. No change. Big group still all together, look. I'll just spin the camera around and zoom out so that we can see exactly how many we've got. Yeah, it's slimmed down slightly, but only very slightly. What we got? We got about 20 plus riders here. 26, catching 28. Doug Hart just off the back. Now Doug will sprint to get back on the wheels, I imagine. I don't think he'll want to be dropped at this stage, but he might be waiting for a teammate. So I saw him having a look around there. No, he's getting back on. So the initial fireworks have settled down a little bit. They're still doing a very, very high pace here. And we'll get a time split when they get to the halfway point, because I genuinely think they're going to be well up on the previous. Having said that, though, yeah, it'll be interesting. This is going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Because what they're doing is they're jumping off the front, and then the pace is actually slowing down, which is what happened the other day, if you remember. We didn't have as much jumping off the front, but the pace never really got into full gear, purely and simply because the pedallers had already put in a storming ride in the earlier running of the event, so they weren't willing to chase down their own times. Now, off the front, you can see Neugebauer, the pedaller's rider, gone off the front. He's got 30 metres. But I suspect he will be pulled back by this group, although he's holding it at the moment. Well, it's coming down slightly, but let's see what happens. I don't expect anybody to get away so early in the race. So, yeah, they're pulling him back. Slowly and surely they're pulling him back now. There you go, look. Just zoom out and have a look. And there he is. There's the catch. Henrik, that's the first time I've spotted him tonight. So Henrik's up there in the group. Paul Newton at the front now, or in the group. Who else we got? Let's have a look. Nice to see Tim Moss doing a turn on the front. James is there, James Ogilvie. Hughes is there, the Welsh rider. Redpath, the British rider, in the pink jersey. So a good mixture here. Henrik, look, having a bit of a push off the front. Typical. I call out his name and then he decides he wants to go for one. And he's putting in some good wattage here, so he is trying to pull out a bit of a gap here. But you've really got to be doing huge well, he is doing huge wattage, but you've got to be doing this for quite a long period of time to make a gap stick. I mean, he's taken it out to 45 meters, so this is this is a big effort from Henrik. I think this is an attempt to break away. This isn't just, I'm going to shoot off the front and they'll catch me and then somebody else will go. This is a genuine attempt to try and get away. I mean, for the leader of the GC to be doing this is superb. And for me, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Armstrong. He used to do this. He used to try and win stages when he had absolutely no need to do so. But James is slowly trying to pull him back. James Ogilvie. And then we've got the rest of the group. Vespa now taking over from James. So John Beams is now... Now is John Beams trying to jump across? Because he's doing 7.2 watt kilos. So is John... In fact, the whole group look are going red now, trying to catch Henrik. So that's probably why John was on the front. Because he realised the group was chasing hard. Here we go. This is the group and this is the catch. Now, are they just going to go straight on by? But what this has done is this is stretched out. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit for you and just get it. There you go, look. So this is stretching out. I'm going to zoom back in. But this is stretching out the race, look. Now, it will come back together. I've no doubt that this second group, big group here, will catch this small first group. But it's dangerous. It's very dangerous because if a small group can get away with, with a half decent gap, there's a good opportunity to make it stick, especially with riders of this class. So they've lifted the pace, but what we got? Yeah, they're on target for a similar time to the lunchtime run. I'll get a better idea when they get to the halfway point in a couple of kilometres. They're almost there. And that will give me a better idea. But yeah, they're on target, I think, to overhaul the lunchtime 57:28. But I'll give you a proper time split when they get to the halfway point, if I remember. So Henrik once again pushing off the front. Let's just see if we can pick, there he is, look. Let's just zoom in and pick him up. So I think what the pedalers are trying to do here is they're trying to sort of like break the elastic. They're constantly stretching it off the front, and they're hoping that the elastic will snap to the riders behind. Doug Hart, look. Now he's coming up to Henrik, and he will go. I wish we could get a treeless course. Okay, here we go. And Doug will go straight on past. Let's zoom in a bit and have a look. These trees, here we go. This is the halfway point. So let's see if I can get to the front and get a time split when we go over the line. 27, 35, 27:35 over the halfway point, which gives them basically a 1.5 minute lead on the lunchtime, at least a 1.5 minute lead on the lunchtime run. So yes, they're up. And I think I can confidently say they're easily going to beat the lunchtime time set by Alex Plager. So we got Solly, as you can see, off the front here. And he's got his teammate Shapers with him. It's nice to see all the teams, not just pedalers, but all the teams putting in the effort. I mean, OTR are putting in some good pulls, Paul in particular. But James was up there as well, remember. I've seen Keith's name up there as well for OTR. Vasio Racing are putting in good efforts, but the bulk of the work is being done by this man at the moment, Henrik. He seems to take a gap, take a bit of a rest in the pack when he's caught, and then he goes again. So he's obviously got very good legs tonight. And don't forget, they've got a rest day tomorrow, folks. So this is going to be a very interesting stage. I wouldn't like to call a winner here because it could potentially be somebody jumping out of the pack and just going for a bit of a long one. But I doubt that. I genuinely believe this is going to come down to a bunch sprint. But you can already see they've narrowed down this front group. Let's just zoom out a little bit if I can maintain it and still look around the trees. Now look, there's a huge gap now to the next rider on the road. I'm going to zoom back in, but there's a huge gap to the next rider on the road. So you've got 26 here, 26 riders. So they've already dropped, don't forget it was 32, so they've dropped 6 other riders at the moment, and it's a war of attrition now. Riders will continue to drop off of this group, so that by the time we get down to the last few, I would say in the last 5 kilometres, we're probably going to have about 20 or less riders. There is one caveat to that statement, and that's if they continue to do what they're doing, and that's keep hitting off the front. If they decide to settle in, then this whole group will get to the finish together. But no, there they go. Look, somebody else is pushing off the front now. Yeah, Doug again, closely followed by Neugebauer. James is there, keeping an eye on things. But they're keeping the pace high. Look at Doug Hart pushing up the pace. This is good riding. And everybody seems to be wanting to be a part of the action. This is Sam again having a dig off the front, leading them out. But as you can see, the group is going to stay together. You're going to lose the odd one or two off the back as the pace keeps getting. Because what's happening here is this is something which many riders won't be comfortable with. When the pace is choppy like this, 1 minute it's over 5 watt kilos, and next minute it settles down for a little break, and then it goes up as they push off the front. There are a lot of riders, me included. I hate races that are run like that, and I just can't hack it. I'm more of a diesel engine. I can go forever, but I need a nice, comfortable pace. I can't be doing with changes in pace. And this is a small rise. Never gets really steep. You can see it's 4.9 now. It maxed out at 4.9%, which is big ring. You're not going to have to worry about your gears on a 5% hill of such duration. Obviously, if it was longer, you would, but of such duration, you just big ring it over the top. And already we're seeing, I'm going to zoom out for you so that you can see what I'm seeing. You're seeing small gaps appearing, then being closed up. But that's very tiring to have to constantly close up gaps. And indeed, you can clearly see that the group already has been whittled down further. I don't know exactly how many riders we've got in the front now, but it has been whittled down. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to work my way backwards. I'll try to keep an eye on what's happening at the front by means of watching the white dots, but I want to get back and see where some of the other riders, and in particular where Rowbottom is. Because remember, he'd already, last time we checked on him, he'd already made up 50 places from 102nd to 52nd, which is a tremendous effort. So let's check up and see where he is now. There's Redpath, who I mentioned earlier. He's been dropped off the back. So we got 26 in that front group. And now you've got this group with Keith from OTR. Now Keith was doing some work in that front group, as was Stolar. So these riders have been dropped away from that front group. And then we got Kid, and he was up there in that front group. Portuguese rider Cabamanca. Excuse me. And there's Mark giving me a wave. He's got a teammate with him, Phillips. So this is a great ride. 37th, so he's gained another 15 places. And looking strong, you have to say. He's definitely going to catch some of those riders in front of him now. So, yeah, I mean, how high can he get? Amazing ride. Now, it looks like somebody's jumped off the front, so I'm going to go back to the front. Oh, no, they haven't. The little blobs are lying to me. Nobody's jumped off the front. So let's, once again then, very quickly just get back to our previous position. There we go. And let's work his way a bit further back and give some of the other riders a shout out. Now, if this group can catch up with Phillips and Rowbottom and work together, then, yeah, we could see this, I can see 3 OTR riders in this group. So they could benefit, as could the Moon Riders riders. And Bird just off the back there of that group. This is nice to see Christine. Now, Christine, I believe, is the leading lady in the competition. And she's put in some stellar performances to earn that place. So we'll have a check on Christine a bit later on. She's in with some good riders here, so if she can stick with them. Sedlak. He's a long way off the front, and Mr. Miller, Marty, and Jazzmonger. German rider just trying to close the gap to them. Is he going to get on terms, or is he going to be left behind? He's trying hard, and he's doing more wattage than they are. So, yes, he's going to join them here because he's doing far more wattage than they are. So there he is. He gets on the wheel. Now, he doesn't want to go right to the... Now, I was just about to say he doesn't want to go right to the front. He wants to take a bit of recovery, but... who am I to tell him what to do? Okay. Adrian Bennett from OTR. With Grundle and Solly, and who's that with him? Librex. Caruso. Now, as I explained to you on the other flat stage that we covered, the reason why I keep the name tags on the riders is so that as I'm quickly going down the field, I don't have to keep glancing over to the left-hand side of the screen, folks. I can just read the names off the screen, and you can see them as well. But as we get back to the front a bit later on, and we get back into the action closer to the finish, I will turn off the name tags, because we know most of the riders that are going to be in and playing around on the front. So I'm just trying to give the majority of the riders a little bit of coverage here by working my way back through. I can see Paul Nichols is from OTR is in this group, along with two of his teammates. Who else we got here? Yeah, Lavelle and Johnson. Graham and Alves just off the back, losing ground. Although Alves looks like he's going to make a determined effort to pull Graham back to the group. What's he got to do? He's got 40-metre gap. Can he get back on? You know, this is such a tough ask. I've mentioned this a lot of times, but it's worth repeating. To try and stay with, stay in contention with a fast-moving group like Alves is doing here, it's an almost impossible task, and you can see they're just sailing away from him, and it's not from lack of effort. He's putting in a big effort to try and catch them, but a group like that size can move so much faster. I hope he makes it. I hope he gets there. But we'll have a look further down the field. Kevin Bailey from Moon Riders, Fernando, Marin. Another Trisome from OTR. And we must be getting towards the back end of the race now. Yeah. How many riders we got? Gottman. Now, I think Gottman was last man in last night. So we're probably Zhang from Southern District Wheelers. This is another one of the ladies. Klomp and WVE, two Dutch riders. Keeping it going at the back, Rosillo rather. The Scorps. Another one of our ladies, EB. And these riders are just coming up to the halfway point, so they're a long way to go. Set. And there I am. So I'm sorry, Mr. Kilgore is behind my butt. He's giving me a wave, so he's obviously listening to me. Well done, Mr. Kilgore. Keep it going. Let's see you finish today again. And he's the only recumbent rider taking part in the tour, which is an amazing feat. Okay, let's get back to the front, because I think there's a bit of action happening. No, there isn't. I say action, I mean solo action. They're still going hammer and tongs at each other off the front. Doug Hart having another pull now. And we've got 10 kilometres left to do, so we've done roughly 3/4, in fact almost exactly 3/4 of the race in 42 minutes. So yeah, we're easily going to beat the time set earlier at lunchtime. Now then, let's see if we can count how many. Oh, it doesn't look like it's thinned down anymore. So it does look. What did we have? Did we have 26? So it looks about the same. I don't think we've dropped. If we've dropped one or two, maybe, but certainly not a handful. Now we have another couple of. You can see here another couple of slopes, but they are basically, you can see there, what did it say, 2% slope, although it's showing 5.8% on screen, but it almost immediately flattens out again, as you can clearly see. Here we go, they're back on the flat. So the hills aren't really hills to speak of. They're so short and not really steep enough to have any effect on the riders. So 26 riders in this group, which is the same number we had earlier. Now I reckoned about, did I say 20 by the time we got to about the 5 kilometre point? So I'm not too far off. We may end up losing the odd one or two here. And I think it will kick off. I genuinely think that there's enough riders in this group that are not going to want it to go down to a sprint. Nice to see Simon. I think this is the first time we've really seen Simon doing a big pull on the front. He's probably saving his powder. Simon's probably got an eye on the stage. But with so many riders high on GC in this group, are we going to see an outsider, or are we going to see one of the main contenders for the overall? I think going into the rest day, a lot of these riders are going to be happy with this. The fact that it's all staying together, and if you look at the pace now, they're really easing along. This is just, it's like a club ride. The fireworks has basically died down because I think they're saving it. I think there's going to be a few more fireworks, but not until we get a bit further on. It's just I'm trying to zoom out as much as I can without getting affected by the trees, purely and simply so that you can see whether the group is thinning down or not. That's the whole point of me zooming out. Normally, if I zoom into that level, then the trees don't make any difference, but then you can't see what's happening to the whole group, and that's what I'm trying to give you, an overall view of the whole group. But if you're staying at this zoom level, then yeah, generally the trees aren't an issue, apart from when you've got a side-on view like this, when you need to flick the camera. I've been doing it long enough now, but I do love RGT's spectate mode, and the fact, well, it's not just spectate, it's commentators mode. I do think it's one of the best things. This is head and shoulders above any of the other platforms, in my opinion. Although I did very sadly read an article tonight on Facebook that Wahoo themselves are actually in financial difficulty. I don't know how many of you are aware of that, but the parent company, Wahoo, are actually struggling, as are a lot of the cycling-related businesses at the moment. There's nobody really having a good time. So I've got the OTR boys pushing off the front. Let's just tab down a bit so we can see who else is here. Yeah. Yeah, all the main contenders here. You know, what we got, 6 kilometers. So it is going to start, yeah, solid. You can see solid, but it is going to start hotting up now. This is the time. 6 kilometers, 5 kilometers to go. It's going to start hotting up. So we're going to stay with this front group. We're not going to go back down the field anymore now. I will try and zoom out and get a good overhead view. See how, yeah, I think all 26 are here actually. I don't think they've done, have they? Yeah, I think we've got the whole party's here. But I do think it will split up further. Unless they ease up again. What's been happening, folks, is, I mean, you've watched it along with me, but what's been happening is that riders have been pushing off the front and then the pace has eased up when they've been caught. But Doug Hart is saying pedalers back to plan A. Now, I've no idea what plan A is. So let's see what Doug's got in mind here. But I fully expect something to kick off. I can't see them wanting to give it to the sprinters. Plan 2. Heinrich's saying plan 2. What's plan 2? What's A plan and what's plan 2? And I'm afraid even if I had been told, I wouldn't share it with you folks. But they've obviously got something in mind. What's it going to be? And having a plan in mind and actually implementing it is two completely different things. Who knows? Plan 5 from Solly. They're having a bit of a laugh, which they can do. I mean, this is the kind of stage where, yeah, you should be enjoying yourself, because a group ride like this, it's a lot of fun. There's Lyndon. Now, don't forget, Lyndon went for a bit of a long sprint the other day and totally smashed it. They weren't able to catch him, so I don't think they'll let him do that tonight. But could he get a hat trick? I mean, it would be amazing if he could get the hat trick, wouldn't it? But I don't think he will. I just don't see them allowing him that much rope today. But never say never. Okay, so it's starting to thin out a little bit. Let's just work his way back a little. I don't want to move too far away from the front, because I have got a feeling that it is going to really kick off very soon. Although, could plan A be, okay, let's get to the finish and just consolidate things? I don't know. I really don't know what the plan is here. And this is the last little rise. You saw the sign there saying 2%. It's actually 4%, but yeah, it's over before it's even begun. So yeah, there you go. That's the hill. Done, dusted. So who else we got here? We got 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So they managed to drop two more riders. I wasn't too far away when I said 20 riders. Christoph Contant saying bye-bye, so he must have been dropped. But I'm not gonna tab any further back, folks, because I really want to stay with this action. We're getting very close into the... Oh, there we go. So I really want to stay with the front of the action and find out what's happening here. Decent wattage, but nothing sort of like out of the ordinary here at the moment. And just as I say that, DeLoyne decides to push high watts. I mean, Tony, yeah, Tony's got a small gap here, but they're quickly onto his wheel. They're not going to let anybody go so close to the line. I think we can safely say that. Yeah, there we go. There's all the field just closing up the wheels. You can't afford to let, at this point in the race, you can't afford to let a gap open up. You really can't, because 4 riders could actually ride away from you. Okay, 2 kilometers left to cover. We're going to see the red kite on the course very soon. I hope it's a long straight like we're seeing at the moment to the finish. That will make my job a lot easier. Doug Hart having a big push off the front. This is not going to stick, and just as I say that, he gets caught. So, however, if him and Paul could work together, they got 10 meters. And Doug is really, really going for it. But I have a feeling this is not going to stick. 1,500 meters. Yeah, there you go, look. DeLoyne has joined them. And the group are just behind. I think this is going to go to one of the true sprinters. Okay, there's the red kite. Now, it's either going to go to... Well, I'm not going to hedge my bets. I'm going to say that this is going to go to one of the sprinters. Because I can't see anybody here at the front that's capable of sort of like going for a real long one and making it stick. OTR, 3 riders at the front, but there's Henrik. Okay, there's Henrik. Is this his push? 750 meters to go. Let's take... Oh, 3 OTR riders. They want it. There's Paul Podell getting on his wheel. Now then, and they've got a gap. They've got a small gap, but here they come. Here they come. Here comes the group. This is going to be a sprint, folks. 480 meters to go. You can see. Let's get to the front. Doug Hart really, really giving it his all with Lee John from Peddlers. Doug's giving me a wave, so how the hell can he wave to me when he's doing 8.8 watt kilos? I have no idea. But, oh, come on. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we can get an OTR winner? Lee John goes for it. Who's that behind him? Lyndon. Can Lyndon do it 3 out of 3? No, he can't. Who was that? Arhen got it. Arhen got it on the line from Lyndon. Just pipped Lyndon doing 3 in a row. When I say 3 in a row, I mean 3 flat stages. What a great ride by Arhen to just pip him on the line. Lee John got 3rd, Sam up 4th. Oh, that was a brilliant finish. Well done, Arhen. Okay, let's get further down the field. Sorry, I'm getting so... I was forgetting about other riders coming in. Let's have a look. We got Kerpo, Simon coming in, 25th spot. And we got Christoph, which is why Christoph said bye-bye to us earlier, because he got dropped from that front group. So Christoph coming in, no danger of me losing this spot. There we go, over the line. And Redmond. Now, the sad thing is that, and the time, by the way, I didn't get the time of the winner, but the time already, all these riders that you see coming in are already well in front of this lunchtime's running. I did say it was going to be smashed, and it was smashed by, I would say, at least 2 minutes. So a very fast time set tonight. Now, Redmond could get caught by Simmons, who's just behind him, as is Stevens, Redpath and Fussell. In fact, there's quite a group behind Redmond here. Let's just have a look at them. Can they catch him? They've got 440 metres in which to catch him. Can Tony catch him? Can the rest of them? Yes, they're going to catch him. There's Keith from OTR along with Fussell. Let's just move forward slightly. Are they going to catch Redmond before the line? I said yes. Come on, prove me correct. Yes, they are. So Redpath takes him. I thought with the speed that they were coming up on him that they'd get him. There's Redmond. And there's a couple more catching up with him. Keith coming in. Simmons, Tony Simmons. And Stoller. Now, as most of you will know, when I'm covering the event solo, like I did on Tuesday and like I'm doing tonight, I can't hang around till the end of the race, folks. I'm very sorry. Normally, when me and Andy are together, we try to stay till the last rider comes in. But once again tonight, I have other family duties, so I can't stay around till the end of the race, I'm afraid. I've only got about an hour to spare. So, this has been a great ride by Mark. Well done. I mean, he's obviously pretty happy now just to come on in. I suspect he'll roll round Cabamanca as they get towards the line, so that he gets 35th spot. But this has been a good ride, because don't forget, he had a dropout. Or maybe if Cabamanca has helped him, then Mark may well just let him take the 35th spot. I don't know. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, it looks like he's had some assistance from Cabamanca, so very sportingly is letting him take the 35th spot. That's that's why we love this sport. Real heroes. Ploiter has broken away from the group he was with to take this spot, look. So there's Ploiter just going over the line in front of Bird, who's chasing hard. And then you got Phillips behind him and the rest of the crew, Wareham, Morgan and We Bicycle and Mike Weston. Yeah, looks like quite a big group came in there. And Rob Miller. And that, folks, is the hour up. So I'm afraid I'm going to watch Rob Miller come in the top 50. And then I have to dash. I do apologise for not being able to hang around and watch all the riders coming in. Me and Andy, on Saturday and Sunday when we do the commentary, we most certainly will be doing, as far as I'm aware. But I can't this evening. So I'm going to say good night to you all. Thanks for watching and staying with us if you're still here. Enjoy the rest day, viewers and riders alike. And we'll see you in the next stage on Saturday and Sunday. So 400 metres for Rob to do here. And then I'm going to have to dash. I've enjoyed tonight. It did finish how I expected it to finish. But it was very exciting with the pedalers and some of the other teams having those digs and just making it that little bit more interesting rather than just a slow pace and settling in for the bunch sprint at the end. It was very exciting, very enjoyable. So thanks to everybody involved tonight. And this is Rob coming in, and this is me signing off, folks. Everybody stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll see you on Saturday. Bye for now.